Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Reed Martin.
And I'm Adam Long, and welcome to tonight's performance of
The Complete History of America, Abridged.
But before we begin tonight, I'm sure many of you are wondering why the Complete History of America? And to that I have but one answer. Reed, why don't you start?
Thank you, Adam. That was powerful. Let me see if we can crystallize for you why exactly it is we're doing the Complete History of America. In fact, I think it's very simple. A short time ago, we received a letter from a 10-year-old girl named Amy who lives in Warwickshire, England. Amy writes,
Dear guys, I think it would be fun for you two Americans to condense all of English history, because you guys are so smart and handsome and intelligent and wise. Love and kisses, your fan forever, Amy.
Well, Amy, this is the kind of letter that pisses us off. Did it ever occur to you we have no interest whatsoever in English history? Why can't Americans do American history? Where do all you English get off with this cultural superiority complex?
We've got a culture too, you know, and a history.
Yeah, and it may not be as long as yours, but it's like my mother always said. It's not the length of your history, it's what you've done with it.
The great Spanish theologian George Santiago once said,
Those who do not remember the past are condemned to repeat it.
and you'll be content to repeat the past if you don't switch to Geico car insurance now and save up to 15% or more on...
AJ, we're here to tell them about American history, not sell them car insurance. We talked about this, remember?
The Complete History of America, Abridged.
By Adam Long, Reed Martin, and Austin Teichner.
We begin at the beginning, 1492 Spain, as that great Italian explorer is about to set sail for the New World. Amerigo Vespucci!
Now we know what little Amy's thinking at this point. She's thinking,
Hey, you skipped Christopher Columbus. That's not fair. He discovered the New World and they hardly mentioned him.
yeah, but in fairness to Columbus, though, he was the first man to slaughter and enslave the native population in the name of Christianity, and he became very wealthy in the process. So in that sense, he is the first true American. Bang! It was the shot heard round the world.
But the shot that started the American Revolution is shrouded in mystery to this day. Nobody knows who fired the shot or why, but at the end of the day, 73 people lay dead. Let's recreate for you now that fateful scene at Lexington Concord. Read.
The Minutemen, brave soldiers ready to fight with a minute's notice. The Minutemen, proud patriots fighting for American liberty. The Minutemen, better lovers than you might think. It was the whole British Empire versus George Washington and his small army.
We represent the Lexington League, the Lexington League, the Lexington League, and in the name of the Lexington League, we wish to welcome you to Valley Forge.
Left, right, left, right, left, right, left, right.
So the rebel troops brought the Brits to their knees by hiding themselves behind rocks, behind trees. In formation, the British lined up to attack. They marched neatly in rows and got shot in the back.
And finally in Yorktown in fall 81, the British surrendered, the Yankees had won!
Give me an M.
Give me an E!
Give me an R.
I!
C.
Give me an A!
Give me an N.
Was that spell American? That's not how you spell American. The Civil War!
North versus South.
Industrial versus agrarian.
Tyson versus Holyfield. Ha!
Just as Vietnam was the first war broadcast nightly into American homes, the Civil War is the first of which we have actual photographic images. Tonight we are proud to relive the triumph and tragedy of the American Civil War in a slideshow entitled The American Civil War, the Slideshow! You got the slide projector, right?
What are you talking about? That was supposed to be...
All right, we're gonna need some help from the audience on this one. If anyone has a slide projector, please raise your hand.
You were supposed to bring the slide projector.
Well, I didn't. Let's just go to the conspiracy section.
John Wilkes Booth shot Lincoln from a theater and ran to a warehouse. Lee Harvey Oswald shot Kennedy from a warehouse and ran to a theater.
Ooh. Lincoln had a secretary named Kennedy. Kennedy had a secretary named Lincoln. Ooh.
Lincoln was elected in 1860. Kennedy was elected in 1960. Coincidence? Then how come Nostradamus predicted it?
Ooh. 3 weeks before Lincoln's assassination, he was in Monroe, Maryland. 3 weeks before Kennedy's assassination, he was in Maryland.
Whoa!
Consider this dismaying observation. Ronald Wilson Reagan. How many letters in each name? Six.
6.
It's pretty quiet out there.
Yeah, too quiet. They've hardly lasted since the Civil War. Let's do World War I. Now what's your report, soldier?
Amazing colors on the horizon, sir. Very impressionistic.
You've been too close to the mustard gas again.
Yes, sir. Any movements here?
My God, we're outnumbered 100 to 1.
By animals. There's Bambi, and Thumper, and Flower, and they're in 3D.
Give me that. Use these.
What are we worried about? They're midgets.
Flip them around, soldier.
Oh my gosh, they're huge. What are we going to do, Sarge? You got all the answers. What are we going to do?
I don't know. I just don't know. My ignorance on this point verges on the criminal. I just don't. Wait a minute. No, I just don't know.
I know. We could sneak away in disguise. I'm telling you, Sarge, this will work.
I hope those are German uniforms.
Better than that, we'll dress up as the Andrews sisters.
Just like when we were kids.
What?
You dressed up like your sister when you were little, right? Strap on those boots, soldier! That's an order! Don't stop taking till we're marching down Broadway!
He was a sweet construction worker out of Frisco Bay, and he would quite divide this night away. He was a sight type of jeans here to fight for what's right. That's why he joined the Marines. But then he said he's gay, so he's blown away by the nervous homophobic boys who got me. Yay!
About a moment ago, I felt a lot of love in this room, but something has changed. I'd say they're tired of being barraged by information, and they'd like to ask us some questions. Yes, you sir in the back. Yes, you. Hey, did you hear what that guy said?
No, I didn't hear what that guy said.
He said we left out 50 years of history.
What 50 years?
Oh, I know. You're talking about the 50 years between the Civil War and World War I, aren't you?
Well, did it ever occur to you we skipped those years on purpose because it wasn't a very funny time in American history?
He's American. You can't help being rude.
True. We'll answer the question, okay, but it's going to be fast because it wasn't a very funny time in American history. Here it is. There was labor unrest.
Not funny.
There was land grabbing on an unprecedented scale.
Not funny.
And there were 7-year-olds working themselves to death in sweatshops.
You do have to admit that's pretty funny, though.
Oh, yeah. Well, I think that covers everything up to World War II.
Yeah, let's move on.
Oh, my darling evil Luke! The Allies are marching into Berlin. They're falling right into my trap. Now press this button, firing the secret Uber weapons that will wipe out the whole Allied force!
Thank you.
Tonight we've told the timeline of American history from left to right.
Past to present.
Then to now.
But now, ladies and gentlemen, we'd like to take a step backwards. In time, right to left.
Present to past.
Now to then.
As we move backwards in time, we see the ozone layer growing, the national debt shrinking,
We see the number of AIDS cases decreasing.
and the rainforest growing back at the rate of 1,000 acres a day.
As we move farther backwards in time, we see Monica Lewinsky go up on the president. December 7th, 1941, a day that will live in infamy.
It's infamy. Infamy.
Just go with it. As the Japanese restore order to the American fleet at Pearl Harbor.
1929, White Wednesday.
I think you have it up there.
White Wednesday. Stock markets soar to new heights as thousands of people fly to the tops of buildings on Wall Street.
1847, National Rifle Association disbands.
1775, King George removes tea tax.
1604, slave trade disappears.
1500s, Europeans return tons of gold and treasure to the native peoples of America.
1492, Columbus sews the hands back onto 250,000 Arawak Indians and backs the ship out for the New World and back to Spain.
As we see the last people walk backwards across the Bering Strait from Alaska to Asia.
And as we see the North American continent sink peacefully into the sea.
And they all lived happily ever before.
I'm Adam.
I'm Reed, and
And
we're
we're
history.